You think your personality is just who you are. But what if it's actually something that was built, piece by piece? There was no single moment where you became weak. It happened quietly, through small choices you didn't question. The first time you stayed silent when you wanted to speak, you told yourself it wasn't a big deal. But something changed in that moment. Your brain learned that staying quiet feels safer. Then it happened again and again until silence became your default. He showed you this. You stopped expressing opinions. You started adapting to everyone around you. But here's the dangerous part. You didn't notice it happening because it felt normal. It felt like, this is just who I am. But it's not who you are. It's what you practiced. Every time you avoided discomfort, you reinforced weakness. Every time you chose easy, you trained yourself to stay small. So let me ask you something. How many times did you choose comfort today? And how many times did you avoid something you knew you should do? Be honest, you felt it. This is where weak personalities are built, not in big failures, but in small daily escapes. And over time, it compounds. Until you don't trust yourself anymore. You start overthinking everything, because deep down, you know you've been avoiding action. And then comes the worst part. You begin to believe you're just not that type of person. But that's a lie, a very convincing one, because confidence isn't personality. It's a result of repeated action. And right now, your actions are training weakness. Not because you're broken, but because of what you repeat. So how do you fix it? Not by thinking, but by doing the opposite of what feels safe. You speak, even when your voice shakes. You act, even when you're unsure. And at first, it feels wrong. Almost like you're pretending. That's because your brain resists change. It wants to keep you safe. But safe is exactly what made you weak. Think about that. Every uncomfortable action is a vote for a stronger version of you. And every time you avoid it, you vote for weakness again. So the real question is not, why am I weak? It's, what are you repeating daily? Because repetition builds identity, not thoughts, not intentions. You don't become confident by waiting. You become confident by surviving discomfort. One conversation, one decision, one moment where you don't back down. That's where it starts. And slowly, something shifts. You begin to trust yourself again, not because fear disappears, but because you move anyway. That's the difference. Strong people feel fear and act. Weakness isn't permanent. It's just practiced behavior, which means it can be unlearned, step by step, but only if you're willing to feel uncomfortable again and again. So next time you hesitate, notice it. That's the moment that defines you. Will you go back to comfort or finally break the pattern? You're not weak, you've just been practicing weakness. But only if you're willing to feel uncomfortable